Well, good afternoon, whisperers. How you doing? Come on in. Let the app notify everybody. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope you enjoyed like our discussion today. I know I'm just going to be checking to see if we're live over here in our group because, I have to make sure that everything is working okay and just trying to just trying to literally locate it. um just seeing if it's here, which I don't see just yet. But if you're over there on our Facebook page or whatever and you see that we're live, just let me know that you do see it, because it's hard for me to tell all the time that we are live, but somebody told me that we are live. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time trying to find me over there. Um, but anyway, it's nice to be here this afternoon. We're going to get started in just a moment because, I tell you all the time, I let the app give enough time to kind of respond and to let you guys know that we're here and everything. So I'm just moving things out of the way because I had different things set up in the studio at the time. So I hope you all can hear me well enough and everything. So look, let's get into our show today. Good afternoon, Whispers, and welcome into Whispers in a Bottle, Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays. This is the pre-show. I have to tell you, I'm so excited to be in here this afternoon. My name is Sonia LeRae. I am the host. I'm a lifestyle relationship counselor, fashion psychologist, educator, holistic health and wellness consultant, and motivational speaker. But by far, it's always good to come into our space and place. And we just wrapped our show at 3 p.m. over on our home platform at blogtalkradio.com/whispers in a bottle. And today's discussion was powerful. It was something that we really needed. We needed to lean into, and it was all about empathy as an antidote. And I have to tell you, sometimes certain discussions that I get to birth really are just everything to me and so powerful. And I love how I get to come in and really kind of discuss the things that really need to be said and that kind of open up that gateway for us to have real connection in this way. And, I told you all, and I have some notes. I have some notes. Look, they're not my post-its that was all over the studio floor today, but they at least are some notes here for this discussion. Today's word that we got to understand was antidote. And that meant that a medicine taken or given to counteract a particular poison, a remedy, or a neutralizer. So, again, that meaning for antidote was a medicine taken or given to counteract a particular poison, a remedy, or a neutralizer. So, that was really kind of a powerful meaning in itself. And we know that empathy is a powerful tool for dissolving the boundaries created by the ego. And we know that by, connecting deeply with our feelings and experiences of others, we can, transcend self-centered practices and being more in line with the things that we want in our lives, to be it kinder, a little more gentler. And I told you all that during the pre-show that I had something powerful that I wanted to bring into the post-show. And I let you all know that, the post-show is literally 30 minutes or less. And so I don't want to spend a lot of time just talking. I really want to get into what I wanted to do for this show and really connecting the dots for you all. So this is actually a session. I can say it's going to be like a session for us. And this is going to be where I'm going to give you a journaling exercise to really help you kind of marry into and accepting the antidote. So a lot of times what happens is even when you go and you learn different things with regards to different antidotes. And remember when we came through COVID, we was getting told about, vaccines and everything else, but we wanted to have more information with regards to the vaccine and what was it going to do to us? How were we going to interact with it? How was it going to interact with our body and everything? Well, today, this journaling exercise actually is going to help you into being able to accept and to reflect on how the antidote can really work and how it penetrates in that space and place. And it's good to see many of you over here from the discussion and everything. So it's nice to be in our space together. And thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. Thank you. Please share with more because there's so many people that really need to be in on this particular discussion, and especially with this theme for this season, understanding the ego, because a lot of times when we don't understand something, we start to move in a space and a place that's actually counterproductive to ourselves as well as to others. So let's get into the exercise for today. So part one of this is this. I hope you got your notebooks with you. And if you don't have your notebooks with you, don't worry. This is going to be here right here on our YouTube channel at Whispers in a Bottle, because I want you to come back and always be able to pick up every lesson, every discussion that we have. That's why I tell you, we have the appetizer hour that is on the Noon Vibe app. And if you're not a part of Noon Vibe yet, please make sure that you're following our Instagram page at whispers in a bottle _podcast and DM us the word vibe, VIBE, and we will get you an invitation to join us over on Noon Vibe. Because at 1:00, we're having powerful discussions that align with the topics that we're having during our main course. That's at 3:00 on Blog Talk Radio, and then that'll align with this discussion, which is our dessert hour right here on YouTube. So with that being said, I want you to take a moment. And remember, I gave you master keys in the discussion. And I tell you all the time that I give out master keys in all of my discussions, because those master keys allow you to open up the corridors, the hallways, those secret compartments of your minds and your hearts. But it also allows you to, shut out the unnecessary things that you need to let go of and to move away from, that are self-sabotaging, that are going to keep you on that journey and pivoting you to your greatness. So the first element that I want us to really kind of step into is identify ego-driven behaviors. And that's something that you really want to sit with. And I need you to reflect on moments in the past week where you felt that your ego was in control. And I want you to describe these situations in detail. Now, we're not doing any surface work. Surface work is not going to get you where you want to be. Surface work is not going to get it uprooted from us. So remember, I told you that when we are working and having that antidote put into place, it requires real action. It takes vigor on our part. So we're cultivating that soil, and that soil is that heart. So don't forget, that rich soil is the heart and the mind. So in that rich soil of the heart where we're planting the seeds, those seeds are getting planted there, but we have got to toil that soil so we can really, I'm rapping today. Dr. Seuss has nothing on me, so we can really align with what we're learning. So I want you to describe these situations in detail. What did you say or do? How did you react? How did you feel before, during, or after the event? Now, we're being very cognizant of how we're identifying our ego-driven behaviors. So that means that we're reflecting on a moment this week where we felt our ego was in control. Okay? So maybe on Monday, you felt irritated when maybe your coworker or a mate took credit for something, or maybe they didn't do something, and you responded by interrupting them, or maybe you belittled them in a way and asserting your self loudly and being so uh, crass in a way. And you felt justified at the moment. But then later on, maybe you kind of sat in a space, in a place of reflection. And when we sit in that place in space of reflection, that's that introspective place. That's a deeper quality where we almost have, like I tell you, that bird's eye view where we're looking down and looking into ourselves. Maybe we felt, a little embarrassed, or we felt regret, or we felt like, why did I even say all of what I said? So I want you to sit in that space and place. And then the second thing I want you to do is I need you to understand your triggers. Ooh. Now, whisperers, you realize this element right here is huge, because a lot of times people don't take the time to understand what triggers them. So analyze what triggered your ego-driven response. Was it a sense of injustice, a need to be recognized, a need to be heard, or maybe you just lost control? Maybe you felt you did not have control. So you need to really examine exactly what it is and what came into that space at that time, and be honest about it. So, for us to be able to really have an antidote, to really be able to connect with it, and that it will work with us, we have to be honest. So, let's say that some of the medications that are out right now goes by weight. And they say, well, what is your weight? But you shave off 40 pounds. And they prescribe you a certain dosage, but it's not working, and they're trying to figure out, well, it should be working, it should have a different reaction, but because we weren't honest and upfront about it, that we should have been 40 pounds up, lo and behold, it's not working for you. Same difference as if you're trying to get certain things taken care of, and maybe you're working with a financial advisor and you're telling them that you don't have a lot of debt. You have only this, but you really know you have this expenditure over here, but you're not really you don't want them to know that because you don't want to show that you're kind of like out of control. That requires honesty. And the more honest that we are about the triggers or the situations that put us into this space and place where we lack empathy and we're really kind of connecting to it, helps us to really kind of dive and delve deeper into the situation and even getting a clearer picture of ourselves. And a lot of times with certain things that we are doing, and especially when it comes to ego, we may want to deflect or place it on someone else. Have you ever, that's not me, it's you, own it. It's you, it's me. Raise your hand. So this way, we're not putting it off on somebody else, but we're really placing it where it needs to be. The third element that we're going to do is we're going to be shifting our perspective. I want you to think of a recent interaction where you felt ego driven. And I want you to imagine the same situation from the other person's perspective. Now, that is something powerful. Because now, remember in our discussion, I told you that sometimes we have to be willing to put ourselves in that other person's shoes. Now, a lot of times when you go to wear somebody else's shoes, you may not even realize that the shoes are 2 sizes too small. They may be 2 sizes too big. They may be a little tight on your toe because you're not used to them being cut a certain way. But it requires that you step into a person's shoes. And so when we step into a person's shoes, especially when they're interacting with us, maybe then we can feel the impact that we're making on others. So I remember doing an exercise with a client, and I told them that when they go to speak to their mate and they was having different things in their relationship, that they were kind of aggressive towards the other person. When they was having the discussion or a situation arose, I told them, I need you to move yourself, position, meaning the mate, position yourself in front of the mirror so your mate has to see you, but they see themselves in that mirror. So in turn, when they did that, the mate was seeing themselves and speaking so harshly into the person. And you always, you never, and I just can't. And lo and behold, it kind of reverberated and it ricocheted and it bounced into them where they could really connect with it and they could see it. And sometimes that's what we have to be willing to do, is to see ourselves on how we are reflecting or how we're deflecting into other people, how it makes them feel, how it depreciates their value. See, these exercises are powerful for us to be able to shift that perspective, to be able to really kind of make that. And, I always tell people it's like surfers. Surfers are dynamic. Now, I'm going to tell you why, because it's really a science to surfing. Because if you're too far to the board, you'll go in. If you're too far back, you'll go in. If you're too far over, it means that you have to shift and balance your weight constantly. So sometimes you'll see that they'll kind of put one foot like this and one foot will be here, or they'll pivot their body just a little bit because they're shifting their balance and they're shifting that weight. Much like we have to be willing to shift our perspective. And sometimes it requires that when we're speaking into other people, you got to close your eyes sometimes and put yourself in that line of fire so you can feel it. And many times as people, we don't do that. We feel that we are valid and we are validated on the point and the places that we feel. So it requires of us to step into a different space. What space does it require of us to step into? Empathy mapping. Now, this is beautiful. I have to tell you guys, this is beautiful. This is one that I love. Okay. So I want you to choose someone you interact with regularly. Okay. And create an empathy map for them to by considering a couple of things. Now, this is fun. This is a lot of fun. It's work, though. It is work, because anything that we're trying to change, anything that we're doing. So we're thinking about our diet in the space and place of how this antidote is going to work. So for a diet to work, it means that we have to put in that work. We have to be willing to pivot, change, and put certain things into aspect. So that means, what do they say? Note their words and their tone. So maybe someone who is like just butter when it comes to this antidote. They just have that way about them. They can say things, they just kind of put themselves into the next person's shoes. They are just conscientious, they are empathetic, they are compassionate, they are actively listening. But what do they say? What words do they use? What do they do? Or how do they do certain things? Or how do they react or don't react to certain things? How do they think about the process of what they're listening to, or how they're listening into you even? Like, what comes into their mind? What comes into their heart? Do they really listen fully, or how is it that they go about it? When I talk to people, or people are talking to me, a lot of times when they're speaking to me and they're not face to face with me, I actually can be sitting there with my eyes closed, taking it in, every word that they are saying. And in those words that they're saying to me, I'm ingesting them. I'm taking notations of certain feelings that they had. And I ask them certain aspects of where they are in that space and place. And that is a powerful way of really learning how to use empathy as an antidote. Because then it allows you to feel what other people are feeling. So I told you I had this beautiful exercise for you all to do today. And I hope that you all enjoy it. And I hope that you feel that it brings you to a different place and space in our conversation as well. Because I think when we're talking about empathy as an antidote, it means that we are responding with compassion. It means that we're willing to have that skill of active listening. It means that we are really active in this holistic manner. And I tell people constantly that, we are constantly a reflection of the things or how we are being spoken into, or maybe how we were taught in certain elements. My family, we are communicators. We're big communicators. But when we're communicating, we're listening to you. But also, as a therapist, I've learned to listen to people, and I even hear the things that aren't being said, the things that sometimes are just below the surface that are causing the little pain or causing that little angst. And sometimes when we place ourselves in that space and place for people, it washes over them in such a beautiful way. So take some time to review your entries. I want you to reflect on the overall journey of the exercise. I don't want you to rush through it. I want you to be compassionate with yourself, because that's how we cultivate empathy, is by allowing ourselves the ability to grow in that space and place. And we're not going to get it right all the time. I tell you, we are perfectly imperfect, and we will get that right 100%. But we can be cognizant of the things that we're doing, the things that we're not doing, the things that we're saying, the things that we're not saying, how we are making people feel, from how we are validating and how we're not validating, and even how we are validating and not validating ourselves. So, with that being said, everybody, I just appreciate you all coming in and spending your life seconds with me. I have to tell you guys too, you may have seen in the comments, or you may have seen that Angie is in the comments. I'm going to be on her show on Sunday at 3 p.m. If I'm incorrect, Angie, just put it in the comments so I can get that in the comments. And it's called Level Up. And she is here on YouTube as well as on Facebook. But I'll be on her show this Sunday, the 19th. And we're going to be having a powerful discussion that you're really not going to want to miss. I'm not going to give it away, because I want to know if you tuned in, because this is the other thing. When we have empathy and we do the empathy and antidotes and different things, there's certain elements that have to come into a space and place of our lives for other people that have struggles in a different space. And we're going to be talking about that as well on Sunday. And it's going to be a dynamic discussion. I appreciate Angie allowing me to come on to the show and to have me into her space and to be such a beautiful host of such a show. And so I look forward to connecting with you all. Don't forget that we are back here again next Friday. And you know where you are. You're with Whispers in a Bottle, Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays, the post show my name is Sonia LeRae. I'm a lifestyle relationship counselor, fashion psychologist, educator, holistic health and wellness consultant, motivational speaker. I am the host of Whispers in a Bottle, Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays. That's live every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget that if you want to join us for our pre-show, which is at 1 o'clock over on the Noon Vibe app, which used to be the Wisdom app. Now, some of you all may be part of Wisdom, but if you're not, please make sure that you DM us the word vibe over there on Whispers in a Bottle. April, the Lovologist, was kind enough to even throw that into the comment section where you can connect with us at Whispers in a Bottle _podcast. And don't forget to subscribe to our fabulous newsletter, the Whispers Exchange. I tell you, we have some dynamic things that are coming. That's why I was telling you all that we even have our summer break. We're taking summer break early. Let me share that over here with you all too. So summer break, literally our last show in live here will be on June the 7th at 4:15 p.m. over here, as well as at 3 o'clock on our home platform at Blog Talk Radio, and 1 o'clock on the Noon Vibe on the 7th. We're going to be gone until September, and actually we'll be back I believe it's the second week in September that we'll be back, because we'll be in Fashion Week, because Fashion Week starts the 6th and it runs through, I think, the 11th. So I think we're back the second week in September, and we got some great things that we're going to be kicking off and launching. And so please make sure that you subscribe to our Whisperers Exchange. And also, I have my own network over here on YouTube as well. It's at Sonia Lorraine LaPaz Imaging. And it's a whole different vibe from what you get right here too. And I have to tell you, it's fabulous. So connect with me. Wherever I am, just connect with me, follow me. It's so good to be with you guys. Hope you have a beautiful weekend. Please make sure that you use over the weekend this antidote, because I'm telling you, empathy is an antidote to the ego. And be sure that you're safe, because nowadays people are just even being killed for making the wrong turn into driveways, for just cutting people off or stepping on somebody's foot. We had a whole situation here that someone tripped over someone, and it led to them even losing their life. And so somebody has to show compassion, somebody has to show empathy, and hopefully that will just keep on to just trickle down. So with that being said, everyone, please be safe, and I look forward to connecting with you again next week in our safe zone, the Whisperers Lounge. All right, take care, guys.